We're about to go on several of the sites of the Boston Women's Heritage Trail. The Boston Women's Heritage Trail began in 1989, and it features famous women from all the centuries, which is close to 4 centuries in Boston history. And so I want to introduce you to 3 pretty fabulous women. This is Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley lived in the Revolutionary era, and she was the first African American to publish a book of poems. Now, what's really interesting about this whole group of women here is that historically women have been put on pedestals, and if a woman's on a pedestal, she can't get anything done. So the sculptor here, Meredith Bergman, has put each of these women working on her pedestal. This is Abigail Adams. Abigail Adams was the wife of John Adams, who was both vice president and president. She gave him a lot of advice, especially from a women's perspective, as to what to do as he was creating the code of laws and working during the American Revolution. This is Lucy Stone. She ran the Women's Journal, which was one of the most important women's newspapers for suffrage in the U.S. One thing that's cool about Lucy, cool about all this, is that kids come here, they sit here and they go, wow, I could be like Lucy Stone, I could be like Phyllis Wheatley, I could be like Abigail Adams, I could be a woman and change the world, I could be anyone and change the world. We are standing at 28 Commonwealth Ave, which was once the home of Amy Beach. Amy Beach was the first American woman to compose a symphony, the first one to have a piece performed by the Boston Symphony Orchestra and also by the Handel and Haydn Society. But from childhood, she was a musical prodigy. In 2000, a group of people lobbied to get her mentioned on the Hat Shell on the Esplanade, because the Hat Shell in the stonework has the names of 87 composers. So there are 87 men and Amy Beach on the Hat Shell. We're in the public garden right now. We're in the stalls for the Swan Boats. The Swan Boats have been going around here since 1877. A lot of people assume that the city of Boston runs the Swan Boats, but the truth is the Paget family has been running this since the 1870s. Now, Robert gets all the credit. However, the fact is he died a year later in 1878, and his wife, Julia Paget, not knowing what else to do and needing a way to make a living for the family, took over and ran the Swan Boats for more than 3 decades after that, until her death. We're in the public garden, and we are here with Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings, which is arguably the most popular statue in all of Boston. In 1941, Robert McCloskey wrote a book, Make Way for Ducklings, about Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings. And what happened was, on the 150th anniversary of the public garden in 1987, they decided that they wanted to have something to commemorate Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings. And so they employed a Newton-based artist named Nancy Schoen.